Alright, I believe we are recording. Let me just check on my YouTube. I probably should have it open anyway to see if chat starts, if there's anyone in there. Yes, it looks like we're live. Alright, so this has been an interesting past week. I mean, we ended Tuesday, so just 2 days ago, finishing up our little homes, and I couldn't figure out how to. Let's see if I can draw a little thing here. Oops, I don't want to save it. I couldn't figure out how to get my kitchen or my house that was like 4 tiles like this and randomly rearrange them. And I have been using Claude AI to help me figure that out, and it has actually been very useful. It taught me this, this, what do you call it? Procedure, algorithm, or just a method of being able to essentially encode all the different ways using just some modular arithmetic. Although I can't do modular arithmetic on the functions that they've given me, and that's fine. You can get around modular arithmetic doing other ways. I still haven't figured it out how to do this. Yeah, I'm still not sure how to implement this method. Like I know how it works, I just don't know how to implement it into the actual generation of the town, of the houses. And so I kind of moved on from that. I'm like, okay, there's other things I need to tackle, right? If I want to get this out in 2 days, which I don't know if I will, I might try to do this for a second week, because this is actually something I've been really wanting to learn how to do anyway. And so I might take a little bit more time to do, but that's making towns, right? Making procedural towns. So right now I'm working on a method for roads. So if you look at this now, okay. So this is taking me back a little bit to more terrain modding. I've been using the basic one here. Where's I have to node editor. Open. I probably want multiple of these, but yeah, we're just using this to do some stuff. Now, I really like doing this. I've learned a bit more again. Again, I asked Claude AI to help me with this, and it's been very useful. Basically, I've started to understand how to use these density maps in the way that I want to, and I think I've also learned more about these curve mappers, because it's a bit not strange, but it kind of puts into my head a certain idea of how these should work, these curve mappers, which is to especially the description in this documentation is to like make it, it's like a way to get the Y height in there, right? You can use a simplex noise in order to and use that noise to get also your Y out of it. And you don't have to do it that way, right? Basically, you can just say like, here's a function. Right? This basically allows you to have an input and output function. So my input function is like are these two simplex noise, and I'm just going to manipulate that into a way that I want, right? So basically, I've taken these noises, I've overridden them here. Let me do this step by step for other people to see, because I think it's pretty interesting. So if I just let's just do this one at a time, right? So if I just take that value of this one, so I've overridden the z, and basically what that's going to do, I need to actually go back in here to spawn and viewport. Oops, I need to do 7 viewport dash preview. So Okay, and that has given me nothing. Because I haven't created a view, a curve map for it. That's why. I wonder if I can just throw one in here really fast. Um, or essentially, I've just given this a 2D map because again, simplex is just 2D, and so if I do this, it's not going to give me any depth in the Y. And I just want to kind of throw this in here real fast. I guess I can change these numbers a little bit. I don't think this is going to give me the ones that I want. Let's just do like 10 goes to -1. That will probably help a lot. Okay. So I've just, let's do like 30 actually. So essentially, as you can see, because I overrode the Z, so what this is saying is like I think I also kind of misunderstood what this was. This was way back when, I think I was streaming during this time, is that I was thinking that the coordinates were X, Y, Z, right? And then a number, a floating point number for the density. So every position will also have your density. But then when I had this Z override density and also Z value, get value or whatever it is, whatever the function is, I just couldn't wrap my head around that of what it was doing. And so I was thinking there was maybe like a 3-point density, like every Z, X, and Y had their own density value, and then it would like average this out or something for the density of that block. But no, this override, it's simply saying here I have a where's my picture again? I have a Z value, right? Or just an XYZ somewhere in space. So let's do a space. Let's do like X. Let's do like 53X, 100Y for that's our base, and then like 20Z, right? And it's gonna say, hey, what's my density for this point? And it's gonna give you this for the simplex, so it will tell you your density. But now what I'm doing is saying, hey, don't look at this. Don't look at Z20, look at Z0 and find out the density at Z0, right? And that's what you're going to use for that value. So what's going to happen then is that basically every point on the Z-axis is going to have the same density, or it's going to be exactly the same as every point. Was the way I wanted this. I think that's just straightforward. Like every Z is going to be the same. It's going to have the same value because I'm overriding. I'm saying look at the point at Z0. That's what 0 is right here. I can change this to whatever, and it will change actually because it's going to look up the density at Z0. I mean at Z10 now, and just override that. But it's still going to basically, instead of making a 2D map, it's going to make a 1D map because that Z is going to be exactly the same. And so I've created this kind of 1D map. I don't know if I want to call it 1D. It's still 2D because you still have an axis there. It's just that every value across the Z-axis will be the same. Okay? And then now I have that, and I can do the same, but instead I override the X-axis. And so Z going in one way, like this way, X will go this way. We'll say that for now. It doesn't really matter. I will get ones that I have parallel lines here and parallel lines here. And if I just to show, just to make sure. It doesn't like that. Why didn't it like that? That doesn't make any sense. I've been having glitches or errors with this. Like even though this is exactly the same as this, right? There's no difference. All I did was delete this and add that on, or just change it. It's having some errors. I don't know why it's doing this. We'll just try again. Does it work? No, it still doesn't like that. But we'll take this one, huh? So it reloaded that. That's fine. Even though this one, these are exactly the same thing. It just did it for the X instead of the Z, which is just a different axis. It's still the same thing. It doesn't like it. So things like this confuse me because I don't understand what's going on here. Alright, the 0, 0, base height. I'm still doing this base height. Right? I'm summing these things. Absolute value of X density. Like I don't know what's causing issues. Should I try this? Save. Fail to load asset. I wish it would tell me an error of why it's failing to load. Even though these are exactly the same thing. Absolute density Z override simplex 2 noise 2D. Absolute densities X override simplex noise 2D. These are the same, just a different seed. I don't know. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to exit the world. Sometimes that helps too. Worlds. Failed to connect to server. See, like, there was something wrong with the world. Quit to main menu. Alright, I'm just going to quit this entirely. Quit Hytale. It's having issues. Re-release. Okay. Worlds. Continue. Biome creation failed to load. Check for more updates. What? What is going on? Wow, okay. This is... I don't understand. Quit? What do I need to do here? Let's just exit out of that then too. Re-release. Open. Like, literally, I was just playing it. I was just playing it, and now it doesn't want to work. Well, this is awful. I don't know what to do. How do I even update it? So this is something that I can't find an answer on as well. I cannot find anywhere here or on Google about how to update my mod so that way it's okay with the new versions. Like, where does it even look to see what version of the mod it's looking for, or what version of the game the mod is looking for? What does it say? How do I update it? I mean, and I looked on Google too, it just doesn't like it. Google. Google. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a badge on it. But like, I see a bunch of discussions about people downloading mods, but how do I, as a modder, update the version? Like, I just don't understand. I don't know how to do this. And I don't know where it would say. There we go. Server version needs to be the same as like, oh, okay, so there's a server version somewhere. Where do I even get this? The edit pack, but I think that's just in the manifest, right? No, there's no manifest here. I mean, this version is missing. How do I even? I updated the manifest, so there is. This manifest is old then. I wonder if I can just add it. I wonder if there is just server version. Yeah, let me try. Dependencies. Yeah, it's probably under this version. Let me see. Can I just server version? Let's see if I can just go around it like this. Because 2026.02.18. I think that's. I mean, that's like 7 hours ago. So I'm gonna assume this is it. FEB 8FFF95, and we're going to do a comma. We're just gonna hit save, and we're going to try to do it now. Wait, did not like it? Here, I'm just gonna reload it. Go here and here. No, it's actually not. It's to pre-release. Oh, pre-release. I gotta have to do pre-release too, huh? This is what I want. Save. Lay. Let's see if this is actually working. It is currently missing. Okay. Sure. Can we should disable and continue anyway? Let's see. We're going to disable it, and then we're going to go to this part here, and actually just do this. The asset is it asset editor? I think it's asset editor. Maybe I should. Maybe I could have done that. We're going to edit pack. No, okay, edit. See, there's edit. Okay, I'm on add pack. There is the server version now. Oh my gosh. Alright. So they added that. So this is, if anyone's stuck, this is how you do it. We're going to call it biome creation. Or how about, let's add it, because all I have to do is just copy paste the actual insides of the thing, the folders. So I'll just name it realm creation, and we'll actually have proper capitalization for that, and then we're just going to save it. Okay, we're going to save it. It should be here now, realm creation, and we're just going to or this manifest is probably in there, right? There we go, server version. So it was right, it just wasn't in the right spot. Oh, there's no space either. I should have realized that. No space. Okay. So this, I could update this one now. We're just not going to bother. Undo. Cancel. And all we're going to do is just cut the server folder and paste it in here. And then we're going to just delete this one. Alright. It doesn't exist in, no, don't keep it, it doesn't exist. Alright. Now we're good. We're good. We can exit this. Everything should work now. Except I probably do need to go to quick menu and reload it. Okay. Failed to connect. Failed to load. What? Why did it fail to load? This is it. I mean, yeah, I don't understand that, because if I do exit the game and restart it, it does have this pre-release slash, right? Wait, what? Pre-release update? Wait, what? What just happened? Did I just literally up get a, was there a patch that just dropped right now? But even then, like, why would this be? I don't understand, because this patch wasn't here beforehand. Oh my gosh, cancel that. Access is denied. Demoting old game version. Incomplete mod relaunch. This is the pre-release. Let's update. Try again. I think sometimes it doesn't like it when you're, some of the files in the folders you're working with are out of, or are open or being used. Obviously, because you can't delete it. Nope, it still doesn't like it though. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pre-release. We're gonna do uninstall the pre-release, or rather, should we validate? We have our whole mod here, so I don't want to have it die. So we're gonna cut this. We're going to paste it somewhere else. This is on the pre-release files. Hytale. We'll just go here and just go like that. Paste. So this is on a different not hard drive. I'll just call it drive now. That's what it is. It's on a different drive, and there's the mod. The mod's gone. We're going to try to validate first. and we'll see what happens. Man, what a waste of time. Oh well. At least I've learned how to do it. Update, and it's gonna not like it. Watch it not like it. It's alright though. This happens. It's an early access game. I'm not gonna be that upset. Just wait, just a waste of time. Alright, uninstall. No, not not no. Uninstall and uninstall. And now we're going to pre-release. Now we're going to install. It's going to be 1.5 gigabytes. That's fine. All right, here we go. Almost there. Download speed crashed though. Ugh. So I'm still curious about the version. Um, what the name of the versions that I need to be updating? I wonder if they have a um, different naming convention for pre-release and release. Hopefully that will fix whatever issues I was having before. Just work, please. All right, there we go. All right, so if I use this here, I do have my saves still. Biome creation. We're going to do mods. We're going to throw this. We'll just cut and paste. We don't need to have multiple copies of this thing. It's kind of, I feel like it's big. Maybe it's not. But manifest. We're going to now take this. I'm glad I can actually select this text, copy, paste it, save it, and this is in pre-release mods realm. I mean, yeah, it should be fine. Let me just double click, open this up, and yeah, okay, 219. If I play this now, I wonder what this patch was. I'm sure it will say on the Discord. I would like to actually go find it. And now I should have no issues. Please. I want to work with. Thank you. Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm not gonna look at this code right now. We're just gonna do this. We need to have the asset node editor. Open up the asset node editor. We're going to. Oh wow, we're way back here. Dang it! I have to open all this up now because that's okay. I feel like this is sensitive data, program data. No, not even program data. It's users. Not data. Roaming and Hytale. There we go. And then we're going to have user data. We're going to go to saves. We're going to biome creation. We're going to go to mods. My mod server. Hytale generator biomes. And we're just working with the basic one still, because we're just messing with roads, trying to get roads working. we're going to, this looks like it's still saved here, so I'm going to go instead of this, we're going to go on, we're going to go to viewport, radius 7, so this will hopefully work. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? This one works though, right? This one works perfectly fine, but if I take the same exact thing and put it with this one, it fails to even load again. Okay, ready? We're just going to delete all of these. And we're going to do, we're just going to do yes. We're going to actually just find these again because X override. Maybe it didn't like the nodes. Maybe the nodes got messed up somehow. And then we're going to do simplex 2D. Alright, so they should be new nodes, new instances of these nodes. There shouldn't have any issue here. And we're just going to simply put that there. We're going to do 150 though, and we will change the C to B. We're going to save it. Hopefully this will be okay. I don't understand. It failed to load again? I got rid of this thing entirely. It should just give me... Wait, what? Oh my. Oh my. So something wrong with this. If this isn't connected, it just glitches out? What if I delete all of these? So it didn't like those not being connected to anything. That was it. I reload it now. Simplex, and then we're going to do a Z override. Alright. We're going to connect this, and then we're going to connect it to an absolute value. And we're just going to let it sit here and exist and not do anything. Oops. It's okay now. And then we're going to, actually, we're just going to copy and paste this. Except we're going to delete this and go to an X override. And we're going to just let it sit here and exist without doing anything and see if the game crashes. It doesn't crash. Okay, now we're going to put this on the sum here. And it's okay with it. Alright, so something happened with those nodes. They got corrupted in some way. I'm not sure exactly how. And then now they're fixed. This one, so here we have left to right, there we have up to down. Everything's working again. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, here's what we can do now. Um, we're going to have a max of these two, which basically is going to kind of combine them. Um, if I add them, actually, what do I do? If they're just added together, if I just take all these and sum them all, what is it gonna look like? All these hills should get higher, right? Yeah, okay, and then some of them go off to infinity because of the fact that they're not normalized, you see. Alright, so yeah, we definitely want to max it before that. Because their intersections are greater than 1, and so it doesn't like that. It has to be a number between 1 and -1. If we do that, though, you see we get like these crossroads. This is kind of what I want. The problem here is that there's too many. So this first thing is that what I want to do is, now let's go back to the actual thing that I'm trying to do today, is that I want like major crossroads, right? I want major streets, I should say. And then from these major streets, I'm going to like have smaller streets, okay? And maybe what I want to do yeah, I think this is what I want to do. So basically, I'm going to create these streets and I'm going to use them in two different ways. One is that this will determine the actual street grid that I'm creating, and the other one is going to be a mask. That's how I'm going to try to implement this. The mask is going to determine the roads and which ones actually get printed onto the world. And so I'm going to have maybe like 2 or 3 layers. As you can see, I already have kind of like 2 layers here, or 3 layers. One with major crossroads, right? So this will be like the major mask, and this will guarantee that these get printed essentially. And also, I may even try to use them in a way that says that they'll be bigger. So maybe I'll have 2 times the roads, like a big road and a small road. Those will have to be prefabs, and it'll get complicated. Hopefully, I have time, and maybe, like I said, I'll spend another week on this to really flesh it out. And so this will be the major roads, and these will determine which what some other smaller arteries get printed as well. So basically, if this is the major crossroad, the mask will be like, all right, anything around here can get printed as well. So I will have this density map like this, and I will have several density maps. So here we have this one, and then I'll have another one with minor roads that will be going through like this, right? These will be minor roads. It might have the same major roads applied to it too. Maybe I'll take the same density map and just kind of iterate on it, right? And these will be longer, so it'll look just like this. So like these will be the minor streets, we can say. So first I'll have a top layer that are the major crossroads. Maybe I'll do this as I'm talking, right? So these will be the major crossroads. Okay. So let's work with I did that in a weird way instead of all together because I was also thinking at the same time. So we're actually going to do we'll be precise with this. So these are north to south. North to south is the x direction, right? North to south might be z, right? Yeah, z. All right, so z is north to south roads. So we're gonna call that this. So we're overriding the z here, meaning this is the x-axis. This is overriding this x, meaning this is the z-axis. So this is north-south roads or streets, right? And then we have a east-west or west-east. We'll do we streets. All right, we have in streets and we streets. And so here we have those being defined. And these will be all of the roads in the entire for the entire city. Now, I do want to make sure that they are separated into proper sections. So I wonder, this is where it will get tricky. How do I make sure that I can fit the blocks in these streets, right? So if I have, let's bring up my page. We have oops, not Control Z, Control M to get rid of it, make a new one. I want to make sure that there's 20 blocks between each of these, or I might do 40. I think I'll do 40. Each of my assets are going to be 20 blocks, right? I'm making the house that's 20 by 20, but I might do 4 of them per block. So I want my streets to be 40 wide, and I wonder if there's a way to guarantee that they're 40. What can I do? I can scale the x to guarantee, I can scale the x and y to guarantee a certain minimum, right? I just use a scaler. I think that's all I need to do. Scale. Right, if I scale the x and y by 40, that will be a minimum of 40 blocks. I'm not sure if this will even work. And also this is going to make all these current streets absolutely like massive spread apart. But I'm just going to try this for now to see what we get, and then I'll fiddle with it, right? Because so here we have these distance, like you can see that none of these are even a block anymore. I think the scale can go back to 1. Like, oops, because now I'm scaling it by 40, and I can have noise that's like very, very, okay. I don't know if these guarantee blocks, 40 by 40 blocks. Let's actually count it too. I wonder, can I use the laser pointer that actually works? The ruler, not laser pointer, ruler. Does the ruler actually work here? Am I going to be successful with it? Okay, so let's measure from here. No, clicking, right click, to here. That's 70. We're going to 80 here, right? And that kind of actually works. 80. How do I end? No, that was clicking. We're gonna click, 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 click. Okay, okay. And then clear all pointers are. R. Okay, I have to click back on it and then delete. Okay. So that I need to know the value of this. See, I'm trying to go to points that are close to 1, I think. Like, does this guarantee click, click, right click, right click. That is only, that's 60, it's close, it's a multiple of 20, but that's not a multiple of 40. Yeah, I wonder how I can guarantee 40 block minimum. The absolute value might be what's tripping it up too, because the absolute value will double the frequency of these. So maybe if I get rid of that, Okay, let's see this now. How do I do it? R to clear the points. So like from here to here should be 40 blocks about, right? The reason why I'm thinking this will work is because essentially what I'm doing, what I'm asking it to do, is saying here's a grid. I think I need to, I want it to be either a 1 or a 0. I don't want all the stuff in between, because like if each of these bumps, yeah. So I do want this scale, or this scale to be 1, and I want to scale it up to 40, but I also need to make sure that um, I not clamp it. What's like the opposite of a clamping? I need to, I want to send everything to either -1 or 1. Which I've had this problem before. I think I like a function that does this. So just rounding, right? I need it to be rounded. So if you're at 0, I would have to like figure out it as a case for 0. Um, or I could just do a what's it called, a normalizer. I can do normalizer and then round to 0 to 1 and do it like that. That's probably what I'll need to do anyway. But yeah, I need to be able to get it to -1 or 1. All I want is a binary. I don't want a thing. So this is where a curve mapper can come into place. So this is what I mean by the curve mapper and how it can be a little bit confusing about how it's being implemented, because it seems like it reads like you can do you can, or it only works for determining y level stuff, right? Or heights. But no, I can actually determine this right now. So basically, if you are, I'm going to have an input, right? This is going to be my input. This is going to be the input. If the point is at -1, I want it to be -1. And if you go up to right before 0, right? So if you are at like 0,001, right, that's really close. And this is the kind of the problem with not having a rounding function, is I kind of have to kind of like round arbitrarily. But yeah, if you're at 0, 0, we'll do 5 decimal places. That's kind of a lot. I don't think. I do wonder what the floating point, how long the floating point is for their density nodes or density values. But anyway, we're going to go to -1, right? And from 0, we're going to go to 1, and then just for good measure, we'll do at 1, we'll go, 1, we'll go to 1, right? So now we are going to create a simplex noise, right? That is going to say, is just going to give every pixel essentially a value of 1 or 1, or at least this function is going to do that eventually. When it comes down here, it's going to give me 1s or 0s. Or 1s or -1s, I should say. It's going to go 1 or -1, 1 or -1. And then I will scale that by 40, so that way every 40 blocks should be a 1 or -1. And then we can sum that up with this in order to actually get its base height here, right? Can I multiply it actually? So if I multiply it, it's 1 or -1, meaning that every street node that I want is going to be, so let's see, all right. Let's see. I could just do this, but I want to also think about it before I see it to make sure I understand, right? So we have Ones or negative ones, and they're going to be 40 blocks apart, I hope. Okay. And it's going to be everywhere on the grid. Okay. Now, I still am scaling this by 40. So everything in between. Oh, wait, the scaling happens after. Do I care? Do I care about that? I kind of do. I kind of do. Let's first take the input and then we'll scale it. And I will briefly mention why soon. Or not briefly, I'll mention why soon. Um, Actually, if it's already ones or zeros everywhere, I don't think it's going to. I think the scaling does happen linearly though. Let's look at the scale. How does it scale it? Such as a actually input density field is scaled by the factor provided for each axis. Values above one stretches the field, values one below one contract it. Oh. Oh no, okay, below one. Okay, that's what this is. Yeah, these things. Okay, of course. Don't. Okay, it doesn't say. I'm assuming it's going to do it linearly, which means what that means is that let's say because I have it per pixel, right? So if I, where is my drawing? So each block, every block would have been one or negative one before, and now hopefully I will have 40 blocks between these, which means there should be values between 1 and negative 1. I believe, right? Scaling, I think, will do it linearly. So before, where it would just be like one whole block is 1, one whole block is negative 1, which means that would be air. Um, it will now put like from block 0 to block 40. At block 20, it will be like 0, and block 19 will be this and that, right? So hopefully I'll get some kind of gradient here where yeah, well, all right, that's how I think it will happen. Let's see if it actually does occur. Okay, yep, this is exactly how I was thinking, except I was thinking this would slope down, but it doesn't really matter if it slopes down. Let's click this. Let's clear all lines from here. Can I clear all points anyway? No, I cannot clear all points. That's so funny. I can't think. I don't think I can get to those then. Shift arc clears all lines. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can bring this down. So yeah, it didn't do it linearly. What it did is that instead of doing 0, it just went 1, 1, 1, 1, and then negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. So it did not do all the numbers in between 1 and negative 1, which is fine. The reason why I want to test that is to see if there is a midpoint here between these blocks. I wanted the actual like original pixel to be very visible. I wonder if I can do that somehow. So I don't have to count. I wonder if I can just put this through a curve now. Manual curve. Oh, or curve mapper. Sorry, curve mapper is what I want. This is the curve mapper. We're doing a curve. We're doing a manual curve, and now do I want it to do that originally anyway? Let's see. You know, we could try it. We can see what happens if the zero, if this is like that. It should hopefully give us the same thing. Because it didn't like two of these points being the same. I think that's all it was. -1, -1, 0 to 0, 1. I think it just didn't like having that as doubles. Okay. Alright, so the highest point I think should be 1. I still don't see that, which is somewhat annoying. So I will have to just kind of guess where the highest point here is. It looks like this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did that? Okay. Oh man. I mean, this is a very obvious question. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can find the exact middle right there. So this was hopefully the original pixel, and then we can see if the other one was 40 is right here. Is the next one 40 over? Nope. It's right here, which actually kind of lines up with this one. But 40 for this is like right there, which is not at all, this is not like scaling how I wanted it to. So yeah, we're gonna go back to how it was. Oh wait, no. Because again, yeah, I think I understand why that was happening, because this gives you the noise maps gives you a bunch of values in between those negative numbers. That's what this was doing, was getting rid of all those numbers. It was making, dang it, it was making every it didn't save either. That's okay. We can just create the noise map from before. Not the noise map, what is it called? The curve from before. 0.000 or negative 0.001 to negative 1, and then 0 to 1, 1 to 1. Okay, so yeah, it's taking every single x coordinate, every single x z value, and changing it into a negative 1 or 1. That's what I wanted to do, and then we scaled up 40. All right. I mean, this gave us the giant blocks from before. But we'll try to do something like this here. I'll try to measure it, the length of these blocks again. I mean, as you can already see though, like, some of them are quite short, so, and this one is a little bit longer or wider. I'm kind of confused. Oops. Shift R. You gotta click, right? Right click. And then, yeah. Shift up. Right click, right click, right click, right click. Actually, oh no, this one's off though. See, like how center of these crossroads were there, and then this one. I wonder if I can get some help with this one too. Let's do a 40 by 40 grid with these. Just the blocks themselves could be helpful in determining whether or not this is 40 by 40. Honestly, what I did was pretty close. It has to be exact though, because my prefabs are completely determined about the distance between these roads, right? Like I need to make sure that between two roads, there's exactly 40 blocks so I can fit in exactly 8 prefabs. Or one 40 block prefab, you know what I mean? It has to be exact. It looks so close and yet it's still somewhat off. I wonder how or what I can do. How can I get this to check? All right. So again, we have a scale of 1, and we're setting everything on the map, right? So like, let's go back to like the pixel level, right? Don't say. It has to be that scalar, huh? The scalar, I wonder how the scalar determines which ones get put where, because, or what happens in between. Because this has to be working correctly, that it's like 1, -1, 1, -1, right? Like all my output from this up to the curve mapper should be a 1 by 1, or not 1 by 1, a 1 or -1 pixel grid, right? Then it gets scaled 40. So all of these now become 40 blocks apart. This is -1, -1, 1, right? So these are all scaled up. So this is also -1. There's 40 blocks in between here. Is there 40 blocks in between? It has to be 40, right? It just is probably being multiplied. So this is 1, 1, and this is 1, 2. It should be 1, 1, or rather 0, 0, and 1, 1. This would be 0, 0, 40, 40. Rather, this is 40, 1, 1. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just probably everything's multiplied by 40. So if this is 0, 0, this should be 40, 0, 0, 40, 40, 40. Like so. And what happens in between? Does it just go 1 and then 1, 1, put all these 40 blocks here, and then it just right in the middle it changes to -1? Does it even know to do that? Does it just go 1 all the way there and then it goes -1 all the way there to the end? Like how does it determine um, what the values of the blocks are in between? right click, click. No, right click, right click. It's interesting to me that this is 16 blocks wide. You know, and this is 20. So how does it do that, right? Like, how is one side 20 and one side 18? Maybe I don't want to use the scalar. Let's get rid of the scalar for now and just see if the thing that my original idea is even working. Right? I should have a block grid. Every block should have a 1 or -1. It's not even doing that. Well, it kind of is, right? Because there's no reason why using, wait, where's my picture? Yeah, there's no reason why it can't have two ones next to each other, right? That's probably what's going on with my grid. I see. I understand now. I think I understand better. That there's a good chance of ones or -1s being placed next to each other. And that's fine, because the width of this, I think, will determine what kind of street it is, if it's a main street or a side street. So that's good. So now that I have this, I want to make sure that okay. How am I going to do this actually? This does help break down the problem a bit more, because let's say because if I take this map, right, and I blow it up, what I'm really doing is just 40 by 40 blocks. What am I doing here? This is what I like doing now. This is so much fun to figure this out. Okay, because it's very satisfying when you do figure it out. So I have this map. The reason why I need it to be a pixel or where is it? The reason why I need this to be at a pixel level instead of scaling this by 40 is because I don't know, it'll create uneven roads, right? Like some roads, I could try that. Let's try this 40 by 40, see what happens. I mean, we actually get a very, very, very similar thing of what happened before. And this makes sense. That makes complete sense. So, if I want to have just major streets, right? Basically, I'm asking what's the width, or what's my desired distance between major streets, right? If every minor street can be at most 40 blocks, what about major streets? Major streets, I don't want them to be every 40 blocks. I only want them maybe once per city. So how big is the city? How big is the area that I'm working with? Let's work with 160, right? Oops, I don't want that. I need both to be 160. So like these are the major streets that I'm going to be working with, but they're way too big, obviously. How do I now shrink the size of the width of these streets? Because everything is going from -1 to 1. Maybe now I take this remember. I don't want to send everything to -1 and 1, right? I do want there to be some amount of distance, right? Let's look at my pictures again. Oops, let's do a new one. Because if I have ones and -1s, right? Well, in fact, this is not what I have because what I'm doing is actually a bunch of ones being placed and then -1s being placed in a line. Then I will have numbers going to and from them. So zeros will be in the middle of them. So maybe what I can do is just clamp everything, not clamp. How do I drop off? That would be another curve mapper, huh? Instead of a clamp, because a clamp is saying like everything below this value is going to equal this, is going to be the minimum value. When in fact, what I want is that everything below this is to be a different value. I want to set that value for the clamp. Or maybe that's a wall then, but wall I think also does a very similar thing. Where's the wall? Should be wall around here. Clamp, min, max, mix, cylinder, cube. Where's wall? Gradient, fast, anchor, normalized, base height, switch, imported, exported. What? This is density, right? This is density. We have the clamp here. Absolute value. Angle, square root, inverter, scale, terrain, rotator, slider. Anchor, normalizer, base height, switch. Is that part of a curve? Maybe does the curve have walls? Am I confusing that with that? No. I'm pretty sure it's density. Here, let's look. Wall. No, there's no wall. Okay. It is a clamp. Clamps, I think, use the term wall A. I see. Yeah, wall A, wall B. I see. Here, you know what I could do? I could put a clamp on saying anything, we'll just go only 0.9, so anything that's really close to 1 I want, and then everything else, I don't need this huge curve now, I don't think. Come on. I can't delete it. There we go. All I want is a curve point where it's saying 0.9 up to 0.9 is actually negative 1. And then another one where 0.9, slightly above 0.9 is 1. Everything's gone now. Alright. Love when that happens. Is it just too much of a clamp? I can't imagine there's 0 ones in our range. Oops, point, nope, point, delete 8. Okay, am I just misunderstanding what's happening here? So I'm taking this as a curve mapper and I'm saying, alright, anything below 0.8 is going to be negative 1. Anything above 0.8 will go to 1. Do I even need a second point? I feel like I need a second point. Because it needs to know what to do between there. So it goes negative 1 at 0.8 and then 0.0 or 0.80001, it goes up to 1. So here it's like at 0 and then a step function, next one goes straight up to negative 1, which is dirt. And then I add it with this curve mapper here, which says at 0 you're going to have 1s, which is the base height. You're going to have dirt, and then no dirt at 30. Okay, so this determines our y value here, our y, we have xz. Should we make this smaller? Maybe we just don't have anything inside this 0.8 range. Okay, now we have these things inside 0.8 range. Okay. So it was just too big. We zoomed in too much into a part of the noise map that had nothing within its range. That's all it was. But you know what? Actually, this works out fine too. This works out fine too, because this is actually kind of what I was wanting, kind of what I was thinking. We have too many major streets here, which is unfortunate. That's fine though. But then again, we need to make sure that that thing has, see, that's only 34. This won't work for blocks. This block is too small. So how can I get this to overlay with like a grid in a way that makes sense? Let's make this a little bit wider, because maybe what I can do is this can be just a mask. Now it's 0.7, now it's everything. Oh, that's because it's, no, this is 0.7. Oh, because everything is here. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. That included a third ridge, huh? So it didn't include the ridge, it didn't make it wider, it just made it... So, okay. So I do want this to be kind of a narrow thing still. And what I want to do is I want to increase, just want this to be wider. How do I get this to be wider? Essentially what this is saying is that there was a curve here where it went up to 1, and it was like 0.8 to 0.8, and this was 1 in between, right? And then everything else below that got cut off. And same with here. Maybe this was not even 1, maybe it didn't go up to 1. This went up to 0.9, and so it's a smaller thing. So I was thinking 0.7 would increase the width of this. Actually, no, it did, because this was skinnier. So it did increase the width, but also introduced newer ones. So I don't really want that. I just want to take what I had before and scale it a bit. But I don't actually want to scale the distance between these. I think all I really want to do is make this wider. How can I do that? Scale this up? Yeah. I know. Well, yeah, because the values won't change. The values won't change. See, I was including more values here. It will widen this. It's actually the same thing as a scalar, right? It will widen this. I guess it doesn't matter too much if it widens a little bit. Dang, man, dang. Now, problem 2 is that, I mean, this is going to work for the current project, Atlantis, because it's an infinite city. But what's problematic is if I implement this in a way that to make like towns and villages, I will have to know the size of the town and village beforehand. Right? I'm going to have to be like, all right, in order to guarantee a major crossroad is going through here, right? Because you can imagine if I have a what's it called? A generation, a world gen, where it puts a village here, and my simplex or something has a major road that doesn't go through it, that would be problematic. So this what I think I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to have to, I will need to do a kind of density. Where's the density? I'm going to have to do a position cell noise density, right? Because this will determine the size and space of the villages, right? The distance between them, and I'm going to want to place them in certain locations. So it will have positions, right? You're going to have this generator here. Let's just do this for now. Right, I'm going to have this thing. This will determine where my villages are. The return type I think the cell value is fine. What? Cell value? Oh, I think that's fine. So this right here will create a grid. And And inside that grid, if it's going to be within a certain area, so it's going to return a value for that cell. And if it's within that certain cell, it will place a a village. Now from there, I will need to guarantee one of these will go through that. How can I have a major crossroad generate through there? You know what I could do? The simplex noise 2D density. This density could be equal to these streets. This density map, right? So let's see. Let's do this. Or rather, here let's we have these cuboids already going, right? What if I do this? They're just doing a jitter, right? Instead of doing a constant assignment, what if I do a field assignment? And that field function assignment, this will be this. Oops. What if I sum this instead? Right? So now, when I do this, I will get any crossroad has a 2 in it. That's where I can put a village. Right? And this is going to be a problematic now if I clamp it. Or I can just do major streets here and not do this, right? Afterwards, I mean, what's the point of clamping it here now anyway? Because again, I don't really need to worry about printing it. Like, this is only a mask. It's not actually going to affect world gens. I don't have to worry about placing blocks that are within, or I don't have to worry about numbers that are within -1 and 1. Right now I'm only doing that in order to visualize what's happening. So in fact, I can probably get rid of all of this and just normalize it at the end. So that way it helps me understand what's happening better. So the sum, I can just normalize this. I will need to keep track of like what my min and max is, because right now like this is adding up to -2 to 2, and now I'm adding on another thing that's right. This is summing it here, this is summing it there, so it's going from 3 to -3. So here we're going to do -3 to 3, and we're just going to normalize it between -1, and that should keep all of the values of like my peaks and troughs will be the same. I wonder what this will look like actually. So let's not clamp it at all. Okay. Let's just do this. What is this going to look like? It still had some things outside the range. That doesn't make sense though, right? Because like this is one. add them together, you got 2. Add this together, you get 3. How is it getting outside the range still? Or rather, oh, I see, I see. It's because if I add these two together, that's um, 2, and then even if everything above 30 is -1, I just subtract 1 to it, and so it's getting the air gap still. So in fact, I need to normalize this one. I need to normalize this one to like, let's do slightly under. All right, so let's do like -0.9 to 9 or 0.9, and now it should be okay. Now we can go from -2 to, and just normalize that, and it should be okay. There we go. No, it still didn't like it. Oh, because we're going from min. We gotta go from 2 to 2 to 2. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. All right. So now we have the major streets. I wonder if I should call them major crossroads, right? So if I call them major crossroads, I come down here. I'm now going to do a field function where I will do an imported one. And I'm going to call this the major crossroads. Major crossroads. Okay. So anytime during anytime it's bigger than 2, right? Or close to it, right? Because sometimes this won't be exactly 2. Like you're not always going to have a 1 on your well, actually no. Yeah, like some of these, see how this is higher than this? Like this is could be like 0.9, and this might be 1.8. Right, this might be 1.8. It might not be a 2. Um, so we're going to go from 1.9 to 2. So that way we get a good range. Like that would be pretty high, pretty unlikely that would happen. And then anytime that happens, we're going to print a block. But only if these positions are here, huh? Interesting. I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all is how I want. No, it's not. Because what it's doing is that's going to put a grid on the ground first. And if that grid, only if the grid every 40 by 40 also is there, also has, according to this field functions, a value between those. And this grid just might not be aligned at all to these peaks. So what I'm really doing, what I really want is a field function positions where I have a point generator, right? No, no, this is just a mask, though. This is just a mask, right? I think what I had before was okay. I think what I had before was okay, but the major crossroads, these, what is it? Hills are not big enough. What I can do is just scale them up, I guess, by a lot, double it. Okay, let's do 80 now. What if I do a smaller 20 by 20? Will it be able to align itself in any of those spots? Okay, let's do 5 by 5. Let's see if this even is working. It might not even be working. Because, like, this shouldn't. No. Let's do it a column scanner, though, right? Yeah, column scanner. From 0 to 320. So, yeah, I should be able to find any of them there. Or pattern is just. Oh, rockstone. Oh, no, okay. Blue dirt. Why isn't this working? Because it should be two numbers between 0 or -2 to 2. Alright, I think I just made it smaller again, right? 5 by 5, so let's try again. Doesn't like it still. I can't find those two positions, so let's do 1.8. Nothing. Let's do 1.5. Nothing. Let's do 1.1. 1. 0. That is not at all expected. I have no idea what just happened. 0.5. I see. This doesn't like this imported density function. Why isn't it? Or doesn't like that? I spelled it wrong. Major crossroads, right? Some density. We're exporting major crossroads as that. We're importing. Oh, I spelled it wrong. See, that's all it was. That's all it was. So now this might work better. Yeah, it'll find them now. Okay. Those just having a hard time before. Let's go to again 1.5. Okay. Oh, it didn't like that. 1.3. So these are very rare. Interesting. What if I square these? Now, I don't know if I want to do that, though. These are very, very, very rare. But if I spawn a village here, it will be a crossroad, you know? So, I mean, it kind of works. Kind of works so far. Okay. So I kind of have an algorithm for finding locations of villages. They're just going to be at major crossroads. I can probably put a bunch more of... Here, let's get rid of... I don't think it matters. I can probably put some more conditions on exactly where they can spawn, making sure that they spawn... Well, that's just the floor plans. There are rather patterns. You can make sure they don't spawn on certain things. So there's that. Excuse me. Let me see if I can now, instead of doing this, so I have a mask for the major roads, right? This is the mask for the major roads. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking now exactly. So these are not so much as roads or major cross streets, right? They're intersections. That's what I'm printing here. That's what I have here. If I just overlay a few more of these, I get major crossroads. Or these actually can be minor crossroads because of how many I have, right? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I think I got it. Okay, let me do it this way. So we're gonna explore this a little bit more. I think I have a method. We're going to do. We're not going to call these major streets anymore. We're going to call them minor streets. And what we're going to do? I don't know why. Minor. No, you're good. Streets. Minor streets. Minor crossroads. Right. And then afterwards, we're now going to do the same thing. So we're going to lower this to 20. And then we're going to take the exact same thing. So copy these and paste them somewhere. Oh my gosh, why do this? Copy, paste. No, it just didn't do the whole thing again. Alright. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to blow it up. 80 by 80. So I'm hoping that they cross at the same locations because 80 is a multiple of 20. Does that make sense? Like, if I have some points here, right? Let's say the distance is 10, and this is 5. If I multiply this by 4, all of these are going to go over to the 4. It won't necessarily land on the same place, huh? You know what? Let's just do it and see what you get. And then we're going to sum these up. So these are not minor crossroads, so you don't do that. These sound density. So we're doing the same exact patterns, but we're going to bump it up to 80, and now these will be the major crossroads. Okay? And then now I can do from 3 to -3, because... Oh no, this would be 4 to -4, because I have lots of I have 4 of these maps being put together. And then we normalize it to there, normalize it again. Here we'll go to 40 this time, or 50, to really see the differences. I feel like I can start to see some of the major and minor crossroads here. And all of these are all consistently tall, right? And all of these are consistently tall. And same with this way, all of these are consistently tall, and all of these are consistently tall. So those are the major crossroads, which should be the ones here. So if I have major crossroads here, these are going to be equal to, or go from -4 to 4. So if I do this again, we'll do major crossroads. It's the same word, right? I better have spelled it correctly. Major crossroads. Crossroads. No, crossroads. Alright. This is going to be like everywhere though, because, oh, it's only actually not even at the maximum. So this should be from 2. I could normalize this too. In fact, that might be better to do, instead of giving, yeah, that way I always just think of terms in terms of, think of numbers, think of these values in terms of -1 to 1. So in fact, let's normalize it. Let's call this major crossroads. And let's actually just go to -1 to 1. I wonder, this should be killing this thing though, huh? I will get places that are going to, no, I don't get any places that are going to be spikes. Okay, that works fine. And then we're going to do major crossroads. Let's take that, and we're going to do 0.9 to 1, so only the peaks. I don't think this is the way to do it, huh? I think, what do I want? I don't want those mesh. I want this. I want to feel bound occurrence. Is it occurrence? But I only want one to happen there, you know? I need to have positions. Yeah, the positions, they must be far enough apart that they won't have two come into the same place, right? It has to be far enough apart. It has to be like 120, 120, right? Because I don't want them to occur close up. Otherwise, villages will be, two villages can spawn next to each other and disrupt each other. So it has to be far enough apart. I want the crossroads I wonder if there's a way to like check within the entire mesh. Alright, so it's like, I want almost like a scanner. So I want, hey, check this cell. Check this cell. If something in that cell is within that range, I need to have, I need you to put something in there. Is it an occurrence one? Discards a percentage of input positions based on a density field. The density value field at each position determines the chance of that position has been kept. Positions where density value is at for those who have 0% chance of being kept. Okay, I mean, occurrence, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to, let's do a couple of things. First, let's see what happens when the point generator is really low. Right? And we're going to do a field function of the major crossroads. Import density of major crossroads. We're going to delete. I guess we don't need to delete it. We're just going to take the assignment, or we're going to put it directly into here now. Okay. And so it already says, you know, if it's 0 has a 0 chance, 1 has a 100% chance. That's kind of what I want anyway. So let's see how often these blocks are spawned. Okay. Okay. And see how they're overlapping each other. That's what I don't want, but that's okay because I put it really small, right? The scale is small. So if I do 120, I'm hoping that it only makes one of these blocks per 100 by 20 by 100 by 20 grid, right? These blocks are bigger than 5, right? Or maybe not. No, they are 5. The fact that this is able to spawn 2 next to each other also makes me worried because if they're only 5, yeah. Well, let's see. If they can overlap, that means it's already doing it more. There's one there. And one there. And one over there. So let's do it 80 by 80. Oh, interesting. That's because it's not multiple. Huh? 60 by 60 should include those again now. But yeah, it is making it only spawn 1 block at a time. That's perfect. This is exactly what I want. So as long as it's interesting that this was not here before when I up, you know, that's weird to me because the grid, the points in a 60 by 60 should be like a subset of, I mean the 120 by 120 should be a subset of the 60 by 60. So it should include all the 60 by 60 should include all of the 120 points as well. Instead it got rid of some items. Unless of course their starting positions change depending on the size of it, which would be weird, but yeah. Alright, so it is just making 1 note. So this means that it will start on a crossroad, guaranteeing a village will have those points. Perfect. Okay. Now let's build some paths with it. Yeah? let's do another material provider. We want the queue here. What we want now is a field function material provider. The field function is going to be the major crossroads. Except this actually will not work, because what it's going to do. Oh, imported. That's what I want. Imported, of course. What it's going to do is actually make rounded things here, right? Anything above this part is going to turn into, like, say, dirt, right? That's not what I want. So I now need to take my major and minor crossroads, right? My major and minor crossroads maps, right? And create a new street map. And that street map will be what I had before, right? So let's do a street map now. I think I can just probably place this over here as a density. We're gonna need some noise again. Or I can use these. Yeah, I will do my minor crossroads. Yeah, okay, we can do imported density. We're gonna take copy. I think we're gonna need two of them. Let's do our minor crossroads. Okay. And what we're gonna do with them now is we're not going to we have a map, right? Actually, and I didn't do the, what's it called? The normalizer between these, so I probably should readjust these. So that way, again, I want to make sure I'm working with only numbers between 0 and 1, otherwise I might confuse myself. So we can just do another normalizer here. Okay. And this will be our minor crossroads now. And after I sum them, it will go from -2 to 2. And then I just have to realign them to 1 and -1, which means here, instead of 4, it will be 3, because it will be 1 plus 2. So 3 to -3. Okay. That shouldn't change anything at all here. It did somehow, for some reason, change it. It lowered them all. Why did it lower them? I think because I gave equal weight. Yeah, that makes sense. I gave equal weight to them before. So these major crossroads actually are now more of a weight in this afterwards than it was before, which actually is fine. If that makes sense. If not, let me know. I can go through it later. But yeah, so our positions, our villages are still fine. So then what we need to do is we have our crossroads. We have a minor crossroads here. we're going to do a major crossroads there, but let's just do this for now. We have our major crossroads, which looks like this map. And at these, let's do a major crossroads first. So we have these major crossroads, and then basically we're going to put them into a manual curve. That's right. A curve mapper. Oh, I can spell. A curve mapper, right? And that curve mapper is going to do what we did before, which is basically say that anything from up to like 0.8 is going to go to -1. Come on, -1. Right? And then afterwards, we're going to say up to 1 is 1. Oh, wait, no. Up to 0.80001. As close as we can to 0.8. Okay? Now, this one, I want the same thing. So we'll just copy paste this. Okay. Okay. So now I have a grid of only the top edges, right? They're only going to be like these peaks here. And I did it for the minor, and I did it for the major ones. Okay. Now I'm going to have them just sum and normalize. I don't think I do. Because what I want to do is that I want to actually make this into like a mask of some sort, right? I need to make sure I can learn how to do this. So in fact, I don't want it just to be, these will be the streets. These are going to be where I'm painting the stuff, right? Roads. Or let's call them major streets. And then we'll also do minor streets. Let's actually just see what happens when I do this for a new field function material provider. And all I'm going to do now is say, we'll do our major crossroads first, right? Our major streets. We'll do major streets. And we're going to say from 0.8, right? Any major street. We'll just do let's actually do something different to make it obvious, right? We'll do marble brick smooth, which is rock marble brick smooth material, constant material provider, and it will be rock. Let's just do rock marble, so rock marble. Not what I wanted. Why didn't it work how I wanted? I mean, it's nice because this is basically, if this is major streets, right? We did major streets. Oops. This is what it sees. This is. Oh, I see. Yeah. No. Well, we changed everything to a -1 to a 1. So these are all the ones. This is what it saw, and this is what it did for major streets. It just did this. Um, it's not what I want. So like this delimiter does essentially nothing since everything, if I change this, I don't think it's going to matter at all because everything in this density grid is already either a -1 or a 1. Never mind, it changed it. Why? Why? Because I don't have these. -1 is -1, and then we'll do 1 is 1. No? I mean, I just wanted a step function. That's all I wanted. Either yes or no. So, like, this should not matter. Yeah, that doesn't make sense because this curve map for density is major. Oh, I did major. No major streets. Right? Major streets should just have a yes or no for every block. And major streets also is just a 2D map, right? Major crossroads, I mean. So from -1 to 0.8, it's just all -1, and 0.8 to 1 is just 1. So again, it should just say, these are the streets. And the delimiter shouldn't matter at all because there's nothing between -1 and 1. That makes no sense to me. Alright, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this be printed. What? Why? Where? And then copy it. Copy. Paste. Oh my goodness. Copy and paste. Why is it doing that? Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. There we go. It did not like that at all. Alright. We do need to put it into this somehow. Here we go. We're going to delete this now. We're just going to do major streets. Put this in. All it should be is a bunch of -1s and 1s, and then we're going to add this up with here. So I should see a bunch of flat spaces. In fact, I see nothing, which makes a little bit more sense of what's going on. just want to kind of delete this group. I mean, but deleting the group without deleting the stuff inside. Alright, it should be taking this crossroads, so it still should be doing this function, right? I mean, if not, I could just try to do it like this instead. Might be better. Let's see if it fixes anything. It did not. Yeah, I don't think that mattered. So it could just be that 0.8 is too tall. Let's just do 0.7. 0.6. I guess I really underestimated just how much the adding and normalizing did to these functions. But do you see also how it's not creating lines anymore? It's creating these pillars. Okay, we'll bring that down to 0.4 there. Let's see again, see what happens. Yeah, it's still just creating those pillars. Alright. Okay. I mean, these are still kind of like the crossroads. Now I could take the crossroads and just create the curve after that. But I guess not. I wonder if I need to do major crossroads before the normalizer. When did I do that before too? When I first did this. Was it immediate? Was it just from the simplex straight into the curve mapper? Oh wait, of course this is gonna happen because yeah. All right, so this is see the street levels need to be from these things. So we need to export these as well. All right, and then what I need to do is come from major streets. I need to actually import the sum of these. So no, I don't want these. I want these. Because what it's going to give you is those paths, right? And then I want to import them. Like, doesn't matter if I sum them first though. I feel like I need to first Instead of summoning them, I need to max them. And then I wouldn't need to do the normalizer. No, this is still okay though too. Is it? Because what it's doing is that it's creating the crossroads as like nodes of importance. It's creating those nodes as important, and I kind of want those nodes. The crossroads. Yeah, see how it's created. These are crossroads. These are basically saying, hey, these are important major crossroads in the area, and I kind of want to keep these. These aren't the streets. They're just saying, this will help me determine where I can put my villages. Right? This is important. So I still want to do it like this, where you add them. Before I was taking the max. That's what I changed. This was the max before. And so I have my major and minor crossroads, and that's good. I want this. That will help me determine where to place villages, which is this. This is acting like that right now. This kind of putting boxes there. So here, that's good. Keep this there. But this will not do for this. All right, I understand this now, so I think I'm just going to get rid of these. Oops. Oh, I did get rid of it without deleting all the stuff. Okay. What I want to do now, I guess you can still just keep these, this map, so that way I can kind of see these nodes as well. And I should have my boxes there. Okay. So now that I understand that, I will do my northwest streets and my northeast streets. And I do want the lower scaled one. These are all the streets now. These are the minor crossroads. So I'm going to have 2 imported densities. These are going to be minor, no, north to west streets, copy paste, and north to south streets. Okay. Now I'm going to take the max between them. It's a good thing I just saved it. It's a good thing I just saved it. I would just save it there. So all I need to do is just import this as minor, no, east to west, right? 3 streets. And then this one as NS streets. Okay, now we're doing the max. Okay, once we have the max between the two, now we can do our curve. Right? And the curve will be a manual curve where the points will be from, it should be okay to do this now, 0.8 to -1, and then another point from 0.80001 to 1, and all that should be fine. So now we have our minor streets. Okay, minor streets. And this should be minor. Okay. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. streets, minor streets. I'm taking the north and west, east to south streets. I'm putting them together into a max density. And then that will just give me a bunch of output values for, yeah, this should look like that grid that we had before. And then I'm just saying, hey, anything that's less than a certain value, I could be more explicit in this by saying, all right, from -1 to it is -1 to all the way to 0.8, and at 0.8 we're going to go to 1. We're going to go 1. Does that help make it understand? No, does not seem to have helped it understand. What if it's just too tall? Maybe I'm making it too tall. Or do 0.7. No, still didn't like it. Let's do 0.6. Again, these shouldn't matter 1 to 1 because it's just going to be only if, I mean, all of them should be 1 or -1. Alright. Really doesn't like this. Did I get my streets wrong? We streets, north-south streets. Just double checking. That's fine. It's fine. We're taking the max. Max means that we should have values between 0.5 and 1. Minor streets. Copy. Paste that. That's in here. The limiters should be fine. Let's just do like 0.9 anyway, just to make sure that it doesn't. It's not freaking out because those numbers are the same. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Minor streets. These are minor streets. The curve is like this. Go from -1 to -1, and then we should have a step function, which is up to 0.5. Now we go from 0.5 to right out after that, which goes from -1 to 1. Okay, that's fine. These values should be fine. What if we take this? Can I take this minor streets curve and apply it here? Streets. I'm expecting nothing. Actually, this is kind of something. It just didn't do anything from here. Why not? It's saying that the density now goes from anywhere around there should be 1. And both of these are 2D value, so this one shouldn't be given a Y value, or I don't think it should. There is no Y is all undetermined. So when I sum it with something that has Y's, it should be okay. I think because these negative ones aren't big enough. Well, why don't I multiply instead of sum? So if I multiply, what that's going to do is that anywhere I have a street, it should be 1, which means that 1 times 1 here will be it'll be a solid, and then it should take out all the places that aren't, or where there is no street that's -1, I'll turn it to air. And then above a certain point though, we're going to have negative numbers, which means it will be negative times negative, which is positive. So that's okay though. Let's see if this works. No, it got rid of everything, which means it's negative everywhere. Alright, let's just bring this down to 0 and see what happens. Oh my goodness, this is just not working. Let's go down to, let's just get, yeah, make this all 0. Now this makes 0 sense. Because it's all, everywhere should be 1s. Everywhere should be 1s. We're multiplying it with this land that should be 1. Is it the scalar? That's right. Let's skip the scalar. I don't understand. I wish I could see just this, you know? Which I guess I can by just saying, hey, stick this here. See what you get. Nothing. So this is just completely broken. It doesn't like these. It doesn't like something. Oh my. Okay. Let's take that. Yeah, okay, I got it. Now I understand. So I was overriding the z density, it's overriding the x density, I was taking the max of the 2. I mean, it should have still worked. I don't understand. I really, okay. We're just going to take the x, we're just going to copy paste this. And then we're going to do max here like this. We should get something, right? We should get something. No. So yeah, okay, it was okay. Like this is not, that wasn't the issue. has to be the curve, but the curve, everything is zero now. Everything is a positive number. Everything should just be um, a solid block. Is it because of this one, though? It might be because of this one. Yeah, okay, the material provider shouldn't have mattered there, I guess. Because if this one fails, it just goes down to this one anyway. Ah, I do not understand why. Like, can I just do this? Just something? Anything? Can something be applied here? I'm exporting this as test, which means I should just get this 2D density map. I mean, it's not even gonna make sense. I just think everything should just be a block. They should just create a tower up to the top of just blocks, of solid blocks, but it's not even doing that. It's doing nothing. To me, that means this has to be broken, right? I'm overriding the z density, but I still have an x here. There should be an x, a density value for these x's, and it should have a density value for these z's, and then I just take the maximum between the two. What if I just bring this all over? Instead of doing the imported one, I just connect this directly. So I just didn't like my exporting? That's all it was? It's also now drawing the minor streets. Doesn't make any sense how it's drawing them though. -1. To what we said, 0.8, 1, and then because this is still 1 and 1, right? I'll put -1. -1, I mean, alright, 1.8 to be 0.0001 and to 1 and 1. Get rid of all of the lines. Which again doesn't make sense to me, because I should have lots of stuff there. Let's just go all the way down to 0.6 though. all the way down to 3.3. Oh, what is going on? It maybe just doesn't like this. If I do 0.99, is that okay? Maybe it just doesn't like that. Yeah, that's all it was. It just did not like that. 0.93. No, it's still doing something weird. Because this should be a step function, meaning anything under 0.3 should just be erased to -1. Anything above 0.3 should be equal to 1. Right? It's a curve mapper. How do curve mappers work? Does it not just take the input value here and just remap it? It should do that. There should be no ranges. This should just be either -1 or 1. So having a larger delimiter, right? Having this increase should do nothing. This is nothing but -1s and 1s. I guess I don't know what the field function material provider is doing. Maybe that's it. Defines the field values of each block. Like the example above, this is the same as of an asset in AO to range and density. Select a 3D region using the noise function and value delimiters. The delimiters link a material provider slot to a specific range of values in the noise function. Yeah, the noise function that I'm using though should be nothing but -1s and 1s. What if I just, instead of doing that, I just directly try to do this? I mean, I can't imagine that being the reason why it breaks. It was. It was. It was. So the field function that I was giving it just defines its own field function because it didn't like this one. Because this one right here, I have. Yeah, and then now it's gone. Okay, so it was not mapping what I had made. That's so funny. Okay. So let's go back to this. Okay. This, I hope, will make some streets. There you go. There's some streets. So now I want to paint the streets white. So I'm taking the same exact thing, right? I just copy and pasted those numbers, put them in here. They should be 1, 1. What happens if we do negative 1 to 1? That doesn't make any sense to me. No, it just doesn't like that field function. Even though this looks exactly the same as that, right? I just copy pasted it. Maybe it doesn't like all these different exports. Exporting is gone. Right. Still nothing. Negative 1. I mean, it's literally the same as what I had before. Right? Like this. This is working for the terrain generation, but it's not working for the material provider. Why? Why? I don't understand. Does this field function require it to be 3D? It does say that, right? A 3D region using a noise mapper. This is 2D. I have not defined Y's. So I must define the Y's. Or I will define the Y's for them. Simple, horizontal material provider. Top Y 320, bottom Y 0, 1. Material will be a weighted material provider. Not weighted. Field function material provider. Field delimiters here. Field function, this. Thank you. This is a 2D one. It might still not like that because it's still here. So maybe what I need to do is reverse this. Yes. I might need to reverse this. It's probably gonna have the same error. Yeah. All right. So what I need to do is do a field function here, and the delimiters will be. But this is still being attached to there. Oh. Space and depth. Can I just You know what I could do? I could just override the y too, right? I think I can override the y to 0. All right, and now it should be okay. Should be happier. Striped? No. Fill function, because now I've given it a y. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? Whatever is at y 0y, make that. That's our density. No, no, I didn't like it. Still, is like, nope, nope, can't do it. I cannot do it. Okay, fine game. Fine game. I will sum this with a no. Oh, how do I do this? No, I don't want this. I don't want that. Alright, I'm gonna say, can I do this? Oh, like, I thought a field function material provider would be okay with this. Right? Hmm. I don't. It wants a 3D region. Selects a 3D region using a noise function and value limiters. The 3D region should just go to, should encompass all of them. Because that's what this does, right? This doesn't care. This is like, hey, I'm just going to print blocks all the way up to world map or world height. That's what this should be doing too. It should just be saying, hey, these are the numbers for all of world height. And so now this is this should be okay. But it's not. And this is also not changing blocks anywhere in the column. If I had to go from -1 to 1, I would hope it changes everything now. But it changes nothing. Oh, wow, this is, I don't, like, things that I thought I knew were working just don't work anymore. This happens so often too when I work with the, when I work with density maps. Like these noise maps, I don't understand. Every time I feel like I understand it, it breaks in a way that makes me question whether I actually even understand it at all. Because it's able to print it here with terrain, and it's fine with that. It's fine with printing it as terrain. But when I go to do a material provider like this, is this just broken? Is there no rock marble? Is that the problem? No, 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 that's not the problem because it was working before. It was coloring some of them white. So it did work. It's this. If I were to change this to like, let's do this instead. It's gonna change all the marble. Yeah, see? So it knows this is not what's broken. This is what's broken. It doesn't like this map. Alright, let's just do before, so base height, right? Then we'll just do um what curve mapper inputs base height curve. Let's just do 0 1 and then 20 -1. There's that. If this fixes it, I will just be so confused. What? So it does seem to like only it does seem to want some kind of value for the y. Okay, fine. I'll give it a value for the y. Override the y. Like that's what's crazy to me is that I have to define this function, a base height function, in order to do that. Is this gonna break it though? Kind of. It kind of breaks it. And I say kind of because this y density might be working. It's just that the value here is putting it outside of this. But the thing is, if I do -1, is it going to change it? Because that's the entire output range. No matter what these are, right? If it's -1 or 1, it should be making marble. But it's not. It doesn't like something. I don't know what it doesn't like, but something's messing it up. This works. Well, that's interesting too. From -1 to 1, which again should be the whole range. Oh, that's because I'm adding these, right? And if I add a 1 and a 1, it's not normalizing it. Of course, normalize. And then I go from -2 to, alright. Again, that should be the whole range now. It should paint these and everything. Except for the bottom. That's fine, that makes sense. Okay, everything's getting painted now. I am like so defeated and tired. Because this is like, it's just bugging me so bad. Alright. So I care about this the most, right? I want this, and I'm gonna make it into a mask, meaning that if it's at -1, I'm gonna take all these numbers to 3. Okay? I mean to 0. And this is going to remain here like that. So now what I'm gonna do is that instead of summing, I want to multiply. Okay? Which let's get back our thing. Before I do this, I want to see what our map looks like. Eh, it got killed. How did it die? Because it's a multiplier. I want just the sum. Oh jeez. There's all the streets. So going from here to here. Base height. So I'm having -1 to 1, -1 to 1, we're adding it, going to the normalizer. That's attached there. This is going. These are being added. This is the sum of 2 fields, so it's -2 to 2. This is the sum of these two and this one, so -3 to 3. This is now creating a y value for everything. That goes from 0 to 150 -1, so everything below there should be 1 with the 2D map. I mean, this should be fine. I'm not loading anything, exporting, importing, I'm doing none of that. This should just be a very straightforward thing. What is going on again? Oh, I'm skipping this. If I skip this, it skips everything below it. That's why. Okay. Okay. Finally. Thank you. Alright. Got that. Alright. So, have this. Now, I am making this map. This map right here should put a Y value on everything. Even though I don't want that, because what happens if it's not? Jesus Christ. Well, 0, it's going to multiply these together, so when the crossroads, or when the cross streets aren't, when it's outside those streets, it should multiply it by 0, which means it should multiply these by 0, and therefore um, it shouldn't draw it if it's going from, well, unless it goes from negative 1. We'll do 0.3 to 1. It's not working because I don't think that whole height is big enough. So we're going to go up to like 100. And there it goes. Okay. I am so exhausted from that. I feel defeated. You know, this is different than Tuesday and other days, right? Where it feels fun. I feel like I'm figuring things out. This feels like I am debugging code I don't understand. You know, like things where it doesn't work and it doesn't make sense. I want to be able to. I want a material provider that just places it on the top layers of things, you know. So I feel like that should be a is it a horizontal material provider, right? And the horizontal material provider is a field function, right? Because I know that for depth, right? Space and depth. The layers is a weighted thickness. There we go. This is it. This is it. This is what I was looking for. Okay. The layers is a noise layer. And this noise layer can be used here without having all of this junk. Material is this. But what is that going to space and depth for a space and depth? Oops. Right. Space and depth. A noise function tree. This function is always sampled x, y, z, and the constant y of 0. In other words, yeah, okay. So but what determines what gets printed? Anything above 0 maybe? Oh, but it's not, this is the thickness layer into the depth, of course. So it's not gonna care. I see. I don't want space and depth. So my brain, so this is like draining me so much that I can't think properly now. I don't want that. I don't want that. I still want this field function, right? So what is an easy way? Alright, what's an easy way of just making all of the y values something? Override y is what I thought it would do. Alright, but I guess if that y doesn't have anything to begin with, then it's not going to work. What's a y sample density? I don't know. No, I see. I think it's looking down. It must be like this. It must be constant, huh? Let's do a constant density. If I take this curve mapper and multiply it by a constant, right? It should provide something for all y's now. No. No, I didn't care for that. How is there no easy way of just saying, here's a y. Use this. Because I just want this 2D map, I just want to take this and print this on top of the entire surface. So yeah, I think the only way to do it is how I did it before. So that's a little silly. I think multiplier was a multiplier density I was using. And then doing the curve mapper with a height map, base height, and the curve, manual curve, just, like 0, 1, 321, 320, make everything a block. And then I'm going to mask things, right? So zeros. So now this is my minor street map. What? That is what I did before, right? Negative 100. Why wouldn't this work? Because I'm going from y negative 100 to 320, and I'm just making it all 1. Everything's 1. And then I take this, and I'm saying, so now I have a 3D map that's resolved, or a y, right? I think I have a giant wall of y, okay? Or it's all 1. And then I have a 2D map on top of this. And this 2D map is saying, alright, negative 1, 0.3 is all 0. So this is all 0. So don't touch it. Don't touch it. Because you're going to be multiplying by 0 at these spots, and 1 times 0 is 0. So all of these are 0, and so therefore that entire place is 0. Okay? But if you're 0.3 and greater, you're going to be 1. 1 times 1 is 1. It should print. It should print. But it's not. Oh, there. Base height, curve mapper. I mean, if it's 0, it doesn't matter if it's negative 1. It just, if it's, it doesn't matter what range it is either. It doesn't matter if it's less than negative 1 or if it's greater than 1. I am saying I have made this street map where it's either 0 or 1. And now I'm going to be multiplying by 1s. So I should still end up with 0s or 1s. You gotta be kidding me. Like, just have to be kidding me. painted the wrong thing. How? All of the y values are 1, right? That's what this should do. Everything is 1, just 1, 1 to 1. Everything's 1. Everything's 1. Which is what the constant density should have done anyway, but it doesn't matter. Everything's 1. Height map 1. Curve mapper. I have my streets. This right here and this right here will make some nice streets. What if I just lower this 0.7, make this a smaller, it breaks. Point 7, 0.7, save. Why is it painting in reverse? Does 0 times 1 equals 1 and 1 times 0 equals 0? I don't understand. Max. If I take these two simplexes that have been, one of the directions have been overridden, I should get a bunch of square grids, parallel lines, added together, squares, or rectangles. When I take the max, it'll keep those, right? It'll keep those peaks. Those peaks are where my roads are going to be. Okay? Those peaks are where the roads are going to be. So I'm saying anything outside that peak. So from -1 to 0.7, those are not the peaks, those are the troughs, -1 to 0.7 is going to be 0. Put it all to 0. Then anything above 0.7 is going to be equal to 1. It's 1 there. Okay, that's what this curve does. So now I have a 2D map where everything is either 0 or 1. Zeros or ones. Ones should be the streets. The zeros should be the gaps in between, the blocks. Now I'm going to multiply that. I'm going to multiply that with this curve map because that's what it needs. It needs a y. It needs a y. Okay, so I should have all of these be ones. Right, I have a bunch of streets on a grid. They're all ones. And I'm multiplying it multiplying it with this curve mapper, which is defining y's. Now for me, I didn't care. I just wanted a y direction. So everything is ones. It's all ones. Okay? So as we're progressing block by block by block by block by block by block, world generating the world, we're saying, hey, this is a 0. If it's at a 0 point, it should be 0, right? A 0. And this map times a 1 from this map, which gives us 0. Oh, I have from 0 to 1. Yeah, no. If we just get rid of that 0 though, right? If we go 0.1, from 0.1 to there, what's going to happen is get rid of all of them. It all goes away. Even though this section of the map, this 1, multiplied by this 1, should give us 1, which is within that range, right here. It doesn't like it. Does the delimiter not like 1? Or is it not inclusive? It wasn't inclusive. Why are delimiters not inclusive? Well, I do understand because when you're doing a delimiter, sometimes you need that. So, okay, so is from inclusive and to is exclusive. It stops at 2, while from includes. Okay, I need to make sure I keep that in mind. That is important information. That should be written down somewhere. Is that written down somewhere? It probably is, and yet I just don't know. The delimiters should have their own way of thinking of delimiters. Delimiters. It is not there. It is not. Okay. That's important information to have. I'm glad that I learned it. I have understood this better. That's a goal. It's a goal. Always to keep learning this. Okay, this is exclusive. Now, I have my streets. I have streets. Okay. As you can see, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of streets. I think if I lower this, it should increase the number of streets I have, right? It will include other streets and make those bigger, yeah. Cool. Okay. Right. What time is it? 12:15. Oh my gosh. This entire day was spent trying to understand delimiters, really. That was a major problem, was just the delimiters. I feel like I have accomplished nothing. Okay. And I still don't even know how to do blocks, right? Because I can't guarantee that my streets will be on it. Kind of, actually. Because I do know of a way, since we messed with this, right? I just did major crossroads here. hey, look at that. Minor Streets is still being exported there, and I didn't like that. I think that maybe this is why it was being confused earlier. I had two things being exported as Minor Streets. Okay. Alright. That's my fault as well then. So, I need to rethink how I want to do the masking too. I have an idea, and I do want to talk about it, but I need to probably get off. I think I need another week with this one. There's a lot to do on this, and I kind of want to be the one to have nice villages. Like if I can get this done before others, that will feel good. And yeah, so I am actually going to not do one every week. Maybe I'll just focus on this village one for a little bit, so I can get this idea, this concept of having villages with procedurally generated streets and buildings attached to those streets in the game. That will be so cool. That will be so cool. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna think about this more off stream. I really want to get this done. I just need to go eat and I need to do other things. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my struggle and my triumph. I've learned that 2 is not inclusive, it is exclusive. So if you want to include that one, you must go a little bit higher than what you wanted. Okay. I'm glad I learned that too, because I was always suspicious of delimiters, because I was able to use delimiters in a way that's like the same number, so it's like 0.1 to 1, 1 to 0.2 or something like that, right? And you would go, and I'd be like, why? How does it choose which one it is? 1 here, and the second delimiter would start from 1. And so I guess I never really confronted that fact until today, and now I understand that it's the 2 that is the exclusive one. The from is the inclusive one. So now when I ever do delimiters, I'll need to make sure that I don't think it will be a big deal, but I'll know if there's a boundary issue that I'm having a problem with. I'll know where that boundary is now, or how to manipulate that boundary. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go take a break as well. I am exhausted from this. I think I'll just take a nap or something. That was a struggle. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you Tuesday, I think. Pretty sure I can see you Tuesday. I don't. I actually might have a dentist appointment. I don't know. I'll figure that out. We'll see. If I don't stream, I don't stream. Um, I'll see you when I'm back on.